welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I thought that we could talk about the MOTERM. So this is a MOTERM Veg Tan cover for my Hobonichi weeks. I have this color and then I have 3 other colors, and I thought that I would kind of just show you the layout, do a review of the cover itself, and also give you a color comparison because some of the colors do look a little bit similar. So if you're looking to purchase in the future or are really just trying to discern like what are the differences between these colors, I thought that this video could be useful. But anyway, before we get started, my name is Jay, and on this channel, I spend a lot of time talking about planners and productivity. I tend to do a weekly plan with me in my planner, and then also every once in a while, I'll throw in other types of content like makeup, lifestyle, vlog type content. This channel is really just kind of turned into my creative corner of the internet, and I would love to have you join me. I would love if you take a second to like and subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's just hop into it. So again, this is the MOTERM Veg Tan cover. I believe they released this year for the first time, and I think at this point they've done like 3, maybe 4 restocks, and then they just did a pre-order. They've been very popular. So historically, MOTERM has done what they call lychee leather, which looks like this. It's like pebbled, very uniform. It doesn't change with the sun. It doesn't really get damaged with water. It's got like a coating on it. It, in my opinion, feels cheap and plasticky. So I was never really interested in MOTERM. This is the only MOTERM I've ever bought in the lychee leather, and I don't really use it all that often, to be honest. I just wanted an A5 cover. I didn't want to spend a lot of money, so I bought the MOTERM one. But I tend to purchase planner covers from brands such as Gillio or Vanderspec, and those brands have what's called a full grain leather. Now, full grain leathers, for reference, this is one of my Vanderspecs. You can see right off the bat, right? You're seeing a lot of texture, variation, wrinkles. Sometimes the color, well, you can see here the color's kind of changed. So the back, I don't know if you can tell, is a little bit lighter than the front. And that's because the front, it sits like this on my desk closed, and whatever sun is coming in is hitting the front of the planner, but it isn't hitting the back of the planner. So this kind of leather develops, you get different characteristics with it when it ships to you, but it also develops with patina over time. Similar to if you've ever owned a Louis Vuitton or seen a Louis Vuitton, they're monogram pieces that have that brown leather to them. Sometimes they range from really, really bright white like this, or they get to like this really beautiful honey type of color. It's the same piece of leather. It's changing though with like the weather and oxygen and sunlight and all of those things. So I much prefer this kind of leather. So when MOTERM announced that they were doing a vegetable tan leather that had those different characteristics, I was very interested. So I went ahead and I first purchased the caramel, and I got this pre-loved from a friend on Instagram, and I'm very grateful that she let me buy it off of her. And as you can see, we've got some stretch marks. I don't know if you'll be able to tell super closely in the camera. Let's see. But look, right here, like those are some stretch marks all up in here, right across here. I didn't make those marks. This planner came to me with those marks, and that's just like the natural characteristics of the planner. Here you can really tell, right? So here you've got the difference between a more smooth piece of leather and a more textured piece of that leather. So you can see all the different variations that you might get. And this is just the kind of leather that I much prefer over this kind of leather that is very like uniform. Even though this is leather, it definitely feels like pleather. If you've ever felt pleather, this is what it feels like. So previously I just never really been interested. But when I purchased this cover, I fell in love with this thing. So quickly, let's just go over specs, okay? So you've got square corners, which I love on a cover, very much appreciated. You've got, oh, by the way, if you see this, this is just ink from when I was refilling a pen. It's not a cut or anything, it's fine. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You've got square corners. You've got a double popper, which no matter what when you pop it on, you can't see it poking through, which I really appreciate. On the interior, you have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 card slots. You've got a slip pocket here, a slip pocket here, a slip pocket here, which is technically for like the cover of your planner, a slip pocket here, which is for the back cover of your planner, another slip pocket, and then a mini secretarial. You've got the MOTERM tag down here. Right here, you've got an elasticated pen loop, which I very much appreciate. And I also appreciate that they've dyed the elastic to match the color of the planner. You've got 2 bookmarks here, which I can't stand, but some people enjoy them. And then you've got a big back pocket. And that's your cover. That's it. Pretty simple, but a lovely layout. Like, I thoroughly enjoy this layout. This is very much like the Giglio Slim Punto configuration. And I can't be more happy about it. So that's your layout. And I thought quickly that I can show you how I've set up my current planner in case you're looking for like inspiration. So this is the MOTERM VEG Chan in the khaki color. And I don't use these card slots as like credit card slots because I don't use my planner as my wallet. So I more so use these slots as a way to decorate my planner. So this is, for example, what I've done with my current planner. These are just like some little vinyl stickers that I haven't stuck down. I've just used as die cuts. We've got like a note to self card, a case of emergency card. This is a magnetic pin from Sweet Freckles Designs. And then this is another magnetic pin from Faded Chronicle. And that's kind of how I've set it up. In the back of mine, I've used this to just hold some stickers. And then I never use the big back pocket. Some people do. I like having it there. It wouldn't stop me from using a planner, but I don't use it very often, if ever. So that is how I've kind of set up mine. I am using this popper, and it fits. In here I have a MOTERM. No, in here I have a Hobonichi Weeks, a regular Hobonichi Weeks, but I do have a supplemental notebook back here, and my Weeks is definitely like fluffed up as I've used stickers and washi every single week that I've planned in here so far, and we're nearing the end of the year. But it's nice to know though that like a full fluffed up regular Weeks does fit in here, and I do think a full fluffed up Mega Weeks would fit in here because I also have the supplemental notebook, so you probably wouldn't have a supplemental notebook if you were using a Weeks Mega, so I do think it would fit. I just don't have one to try to show you, but I haven't heard any complaints from anyone, and I know a lot of people in the community do use a Mega, and I think it would work perfectly fine. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you some of the colors. So this is khaki, which is like an olivey green. And then we've got caramel, which I showed you, that has all the texture. I really like this one. And then I've also got honey, which is a little bit more of a smoother piece. You can see there's not as much texture to it. We've got texture on the interior, but pretty smooth on the exterior. And then we've got apricot, which I love. This one I've got a lot more texture up here, and I love that. And then there's a ton of texture towards the back up here. And then I really like the two-tone pockets. So another part of having a veg tan or full grain leather is that sometimes the colors will be slightly different, and I like that this is like a two-tone pocket. And then this is a third color, so like a 3-tone pocket. But yeah, so the one thing that you need to think about is when you're ordering these planners, you may get a texture you don't like. You may get a 3-tone pocket and may not like that. And that might be a complaint for you, right? So it is something to take into consideration when purchasing one of these. You definitely are going to get what you may think of as imperfections, but are actually like just characteristics of having this kind of leather. So yeah, so those are the 4 colors that I have. So I'm just going to show you a little bit up close. So this is, again, khaki. Caramel. honey, and apricot. So I'm going to show you apricot and honey a little bit closer up together because these two are definitely the ones that look the most similar. So as you can tell, caramel is a little bit warmer in tone and has a little bit more of that red undertone, where honey doesn't really cross over into that red territory as much. They are very similar, but they definitely do have that key difference of like, where's that red undertone, and caramel definitely has it a little bit more. Another one that I guess I can compare to is honey versus the apricot. It's just a lot lighter, the apricot. These do have similar undertones, and I suspect that if you were to use this for years and have it out in the sun or get some water on it, it might eventually patina to reach this color. They have very similar colors. This is like a lighter version of it. But that's the comparison of those. I can also compare my Vanderspec Undyed to the to the apricot. So this is Vanderspec Undyed, and then this is the MOTERM apricot. Pretty similar. Again, this is just a little bit darker, but I think over time, this would patina to be this color. So there's the three of them. VDS Undyed, MOTERM apricot, MOTERM honey. And then I also can show you caramel and honey. So this is caramel, that's honey, compared to Vanderspec JL Brown. So this is just a little sample of it, and it's pretty close to caramel, like very close. And then this is it compared to honey. I've never owned a Gillio Gold, but caramel is what I suspect Gillio Gold, the color of Gillio Gold, is in person. But yeah, that's the comparison there. And then, oh, I can also show you, so this is MOTERM Khaki, and then this is JL Olive from Vanderspec, which is also very, very similar. So if you've been looking at Vanderspec, wanted to place a custom, or already own some of these and are still thinking about like trying out some of the MOTERMs, those are just a couple color comparisons. So yeah, I will say I'm thoroughly impressed with these planners as someone who has owned multiple VDSs and multiple Gillios. I am really, really impressed with these planners. After I bought one, I bought 3 more. That's how impressed I was with them. The price point is great. It's fantastic. They're under $100. I'm really impressed by them. The stitching, like, it's all really straight. I love these planners. I love them so much. They are beautiful. The stitching on them, all of them, is just lovely and wonderful and beautiful. I am impressed with like the textural differences and the slight color variations, and I really like the layout that they went with. I don't care for the bookmarks, but I don't mind having them. I just don't use them. I don't mind the look of them dangling off the end of the planner. But the stitching is great. The textures are great. The colors that they've chosen are fantastic. Like, I am thoroughly impressed with these planners, you guys. So if you're on the hunt for a more cost-effective Hobonichi Weeks planner, or just a more cost-effective Hobonichi Weeks cover, or just a Hobonichi Weeks cover in general, I think these would be a great one to check out. They're out of stock right now. I would say if you're looking to get one, follow the MOTERM official fan group on Facebook, and also the MOTERM buy-sell trade. Because sometimes when people are looking to sell them, they'll post them on the buy-sell trade and you might be able to snag one. Or when MOTERM themselves does a new release or a pre-order, they notify all of their customers on the official fan group. So yeah, very impressed. Very, very impressed. The only thing about them that I wish was different is I hate the MOTERM tag. Like, I thoroughly hate it. I don't like that it's black and white. It's so contrasty. It's also rather large. I much prefer the VDS tag, which is like brown on brown and a little bit smaller and narrower. I also like that the VDS tag is in here and not out here. I really don't like the MOTERM tag. I wish that they would change the tag or change the placement of it, or have like a maker's mark, like an actual like little stamp that's just stamped into the leather. And I just feel like the tag is really obnoxious. But that's a personal preference, and it's not one that's going to stop me from using the planners. I really like them. I really enjoy them. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know down below. I'd love to answer them. Have you bought one of these? Are you looking to try one of these? What are your thoughts, feelings, and opinions about these? I have very quickly become very passionate about the MOTERM VEG tan leathers. Anyway, I hope that you guys have a good rest of your afternoon, day, evening, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope that you had as much fun as I did. Before you head out, I would love you to take a second to like and subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.